Elizabeth Abbott and I'm part of the Match team and Aphama. Aphama is the Association of Professional Hair and Makeup Artists, and at Aphama we are here to help and support you as an artist. So before we begin, we just want to check what sort of skin type our lovely client Kirsty has today. So a good way of testing this is to just put your thumbs across the cheeks, across the chin and the forehead, and that way you just get an idea of the way that the skin works and what sort of type she is. So today Kirsty's got a lovely natural neutral sort of skin type, but you can also have dry, sensitive or oily. So with those kinds of skin types you might do a slightly different process and use a slightly different method. Okay, so with regards to cleansers and toners, there's so many different types that you can go for, but as long as they're pH balanced and they're water based, then pretty much you can't really go wrong. This one today I'm using is a Jean Martin one, which is really nice for sensitive skin and all skin types. Okay, so to begin with, we're just going to use a little bit of cleanser with a cotton pad. Now you don't really want to use cotton wool because they have sort of little fibres and bits that can get stuck onto the face, so just a nice cotton pad that's got a nice sort of texture to it. And then we're just going to pop a little bit of cleanser on the back of our hand. And then with the cotton pad, just want to apply some. And then gently work across the entire face. Now it's really important to use a cleanser because it just gets the base working really nicely and it removes any dirt or oils or makeup from beforehand, and just throw that away. And you can continue with as much as you need until the face is nice and clean. Okay, so next we're going to go on to our toner. This particular one that I'm using today is a Sanctuary Deep Cleanse Facial Pore Refining Toner. So it's a really good one just for eliminating any dirt and oils underneath the skin. And it's important to use a toner just to close the pores so that before we begin any makeup, the makeup actually doesn't sink into the pores. And we're going to work exactly the same way as beforehand with the cleanser, just over the entire face with a nice cotton pad. Okay, so after this point, you might just want to check, see if the skin has changed at all. So again, you just might want to check across the cheeks. This is just important because you might not always need a moisturiser depending on the oil content within the skin. But today, as Kirsty has a nice neutral skin type, we're just going to pop a little bit of moisturiser just to give it a nice base for the makeup to sit onto. Now we're going to go on to moisturiser. There's many different ones on the market, so you can't really go wrong. It's just a case of trying until you get one that works well. A great one is Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream because it lasts a long time for your client and underneath the skin it works really nicely. There's other great ones by Green People which are organic, and the one that I'm going to use today is a Sanctuary Stop the Clock Moisturiser, which is fantastic because it works underneath the makeup and to give a prolonged moisturising effect. Okay, so with moisturisers, some clients might not like you to touch their face. So another option is to use just a buffer brush. This one is a MAC 139. So you have the option, you can always check with the client if they want you to or not, and you can actually work the moisturiser into the face, but another alternative is to use a brush like this one. Okay, so we're just going to work the moisturiser into places that might be a little bit dry. And as I was saying before, Kirsty's got a nice neutral skin type, so most of it is pretty moisturised already. It's just to give it a little bit of texture for the makeup to sit onto. So the other alternative is just to use your hands. So you can use your thumbs around the nose area, just patting underneath the eye, on the chin, just concentrating on the places that get dry really. Okay, so next we're going to go on to our primer. A primer is a really important tool in order to help makeup last longer and to perfect the skin. Today we're going to use a great one by Paris Axe. It's a really nice medium. And in order for the primer to work nicely, you just want to buff it on really nicely with a brush. So you can get all sorts of different types of primers. You can get a mattifying primer, a satin primer. MAC do some great primers. Illamasqua also have some really beautiful ones. But it's almost just like paint, where you would prime a wall before you put the paint on, so it protects the skin before the makeup sits on top. So we're going to do pretty much the same process as we did with the moisturiser, and buff the primer into the same sorts of areas, just to cover the face.
And now we have a perfectly prepared and primed base. In the second of this series, we show you essential application of foundation and powder. Thank you for watching. For more Aphama tutorials, visit our members section on aphama.co.uk.